Hey there, have you got a date coming up and you're nervous? Okay, here's what to do to calm down for your date and have a wonderful time. Stay tuned. So there's a lot of things you can do to calm your nerves before a date. So don't get discouraged that you're nervous. You both are. It's normal. And after you have 20 dates, you might still be nervous. Yes, because this person is different. Yes, you've dated before, but this is a new person. This is someone different. You just don't know what it's going to be like, even though you've chatted online or maybe you met in person and then you talked on the phone, of course. But this is different. You're actually going to sit down, have a date, and spend some great time together. So tip number 1 is get your outfit ready the day before. Maybe that seems a little crazy, but you know if it's washed, you know if it's pressed, you know if it's ready to go. It takes really more of a load off your mind than you think it does. Get it all set out, ready to go. Shoes, everything. If you're an introvert or you've not dated a lot, just getting in the mood to chat and chatting with people you don't know really well, just practicing that can alleviate stress too. Because if you know that you're shy and your cat might get your tongue while you're on the date, or you're just worried about clamming up, what I want you to do then is the day of and the day before, I want you to just go out and chat with people at the gas station, the grocery store, at work, whatever. Make conversation at the water cooler. Just practice idle conversation. You know, different topics that come up, how other people respond to you. What do you do with an awkward silence? You'll feel a lot more comfortable than when you walk into the date. You will feel more confident. Confidence comes from practice, so practice. Number 3, practice your story. So one of the things I say, and I said this in my last video, is don't ask someone about their ex and don't talk about your ex on a first date, but someone might ask you. So what I recommend is, because you don't want to get into great detail on a first date, this date's about having fun, is practice 1 or 2 line answer to that question. So, you know, it was tough to end our relationship, but now we're in a really good place. So tell me about your job. What do you love most about your work? Change the subject, move on to something else. You don't have to ask it back if you don't want to, but you can. I wouldn't recommend asking the question in return because you don't want the date to go off the rails. I was on a date once and this guy literally took the whole first date. I really was excited about this guy. The whole date he spent telling me about his ex, how it ended, and what a traumatic experience it was. He learned nothing about me, and I learned nothing more about him than that. But I did learn, though, was that he wasn't ready for love, so I guess that was good. Checked that big, huge box. But yeah, just don't go down that path. So practice your story. Make it a short 1 or 2 sentence answer. Change the subject. Before your date, you want to play, relax, get yourself completely chilled out in a good, playful mood, because dates are about having fun and being playful, flirtatious. So put on your favorite music. What invigorates you? What inspires you? Take a warm bath, go for a run, play with your pets, whatever works for you. Journal about it, because maybe later, if you meet your person later today, that might be a fun entry to have in there, how you felt before your first date. Whatever it is that works for you. Play, relax, chill, take a nap, make something delicious for breakfast. Whatever makes you feel calm and collected and like yourself. Alrighty, do something physical, because I tell you what, when you're really nervous, chemicals build up in your muscles and they make you want to crawl out of your skin. Makes you feel anxious, but really all that is chemical buildup and you got to get it out. So that could be running, lifting weights, doing yoga, hitting a punching bag, whatever makes you chill and feel really comfortable and gets those chemicals out of your muscles. Do it. You really you want to feel like yourself on this date, so get that out. And then take deep breaths between then and the date so you stay chilled. Put on music that comforts you, that makes you feel invigorated, but not, doesn't inspire more squirrely, anxious feelings before your date. Number 6, if you need to call a friend to get a boost, just a self-esteem pick-me-up, hear some great things about yourself, just someone that believes in you and knows you can do it, knows you deserve to find someone, knows you're ready for love, call them. If they're available, a nice, like, best friend chat can really lift your spirits and put you in the right frame of mind. Going in a date confident, knowing what you want, knowing what you need, puts off an energy that's really attractive and makes your date want to get to know you better. When you are on your phone call, I hope you really thought about where you wanted to go on this date. This date needs to be in a good location. So no sports bars. It's loud. It's distracting. You can't hear each other, and you might run into someone you know, and you don't want to get distracted by that. Go to a place where you can speak. Going to play tennis on a first date, you're this far apart, you can't speak at all. And you're getting hot and sweaty, and no one wants to do that. Not a good impression on a first date. Okay, that's a good third date or later something to do. Someplace where you can talk and get to know each other, because the point of a first date, remember this goal, is to decide, do I want to go on a second date? That's it. Not do I want to marry them? Should I live with them? Do I want to retire with them? Will they be a good step parent to my children? No, none of that. This is about fun, being playful, flirting to see if you have a connection. You are only deciding, do I want a second date? So make sure you're meeting a place where you can talk. You won't be able to decide, do I want a second date, if you're doing something too silly or goofy or sweaty. The other thing you want to make sure is you're in a safe location. Both of you want to feel safe, well-lit area when you walk out to your car. You want to feel like it's a friendly, open environment, and you don't want to go on a hike, for example, on your first date, second or third or fourth date. Right? Unless it's in a really public place, but most hikes are remote. That's the idea, being out in nature by yourself, that feeling of serenity. Not a good idea for safety until you know someone well enough. And of course, you want to meet at the date location. Nobody's picking anybody up. Nobody. You drive your own cars to the date so you can read each other's energy and see if you feel comfortable with each other. You might want to do some thinking about, what do you want to know about your date? Like, what are some questions that will help you decide, do I want that second date? Think about them. I know taking a notepad to the table. This is not a job interview. But just think about some things that might spark some interesting conversation. Like, tell me about you and travel. What do you like to do on a relaxing Sunday morning if you could do anything? What's your favorite thing to do for 4th of July? Like, playful, fun questions. But if you're an avid traveler, an avid hiker, you love to mountain bike, ask some of those things. Maybe you find out you have an enormous interest in common that you hadn't yet discovered. And wow, that's a huge connector for you guys. Think of some things that you want to know. And because they're coming from you and your source and your hobbies and your interests and your investment, they're going to be intriguing, interesting questions, and that's going to add a lot to the date, and that's a really attractive quality. Do you need to meditate or take a nap? Just chill. Put on a meditation app or a soundscapes app. Just chill, lay down, take a nap. Sometimes that just helps pass the time and at the same time puts you in a really good state of mind. Number 10, own your feelings. Just acknowledging, yep, I'm nervous, and so are they, and this is normal, and I'm okay, and I'm going to calm myself down before I get there, and when I arrive, my nerves might kick back in again, but I'm going to sit in my car before the date and chill before I walk in. Just name your feelings. Say it out loud. It's okay. Journal it out. Talk it to your friend on the phone about it. Whatever you need, but sometimes just naming it's really liberating. Number 8, leave early for your date. The thing that can really create huge anxiety is oh my gosh, am I going to be late? I'm running late. I'm stuck in traffic. I forgot my wallet. I've got to go back. Don't put yourself through that. You get to the date 10 minutes early. Okay. Sit in the car, play on your phone. Sit, veg, think, enjoy yourself. That's a great time to sit and take deep breaths and chill out before the date. You will be so proud of yourself for getting there early and that you have this calm down time in the car. If something does happen, like traffic, an accident, whatever, you've got cushion built in. And the last thing you want to do is be calling your date on your first date saying, oh, I'm going to be 10 minutes late. I'm going to be 15 minutes late, and making excuses because they're nervous too. And now they're sitting at the table by themselves waiting for you. Yeah, you don't want to do that to either one of you. Just leave early. Number 9, another way to take some pressure off you is think about the timeline. A first date really only needs to be 45 minutes if you're having coffee to 2 hours, right? Let's say you don't hit it off or you're so nervous, you just don't know if you can make it that long. Just keeping in mind the timeline of the date, it's only this much time. And of course, after the date goes for a couple of hours, it's very easy for your date to hear that you have to go. It was really nice meeting you. And, you stand up and, politely on the date. That's normal. That's a great timeline. If you're enjoying yourself, of course, stay, continue to have a good time, order another cup of coffee. That's wonderful. But sometimes just realizing it's only this long can really settle your nerves. Number 10. Get on your positive energy. Get your vibe on before you go in there. This is another reason to leave early. You need 5 minutes in the car before you even go in. One of the biggest mistakes people make in dating is they walk into the date with the energy they carry at work or they have with their children. What you want to do is walk into the date, and you're doing all this in the car. You're visualizing yourself and putting yourself in the energy that you want the other person to see and perceive and feel. So what we don't know about each other is that we both carry into these dates the opposite energy sometimes of really what we are and who we want to attract. We're both making that mistake. So guys, some of the reasons that you get friend zoned is you walk in with huge feminine energy on. You've been parenting all day. You've been with your kids. You've been caring for a sick parent. And you walk in with that energy on. And of course, the woman loves it. You're connecting. But when she really starts to think about it and it sinks in, she starts to feel a best friend kinship with you as opposed to animal attraction or I really want a second date or gosh, he really makes me feel safe and I really feel good with him. The things that you want her to feel. If you walk in with your feminine energy, big, on this first date, second, third, fourth, fifth date, you're going to get friend zoned. And that's the only reason why. That's why people say, nice guys never win. Of course they do. But if they have their masculine energy on is when nice guys win. The woman feels safe, protected, provided for, which is what you want to do. I know you do. You just forgot to put your masculine energy on before the date. You're going to sit in the car and consciously do this. Do not walk into a date with all the subconscious stuff going on. Your nerves, I've got to do this tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big day at work. My kids have this going on. Don't do that. So to center yourself and put on the right energy, the energy that you want to show, okay? Put yours on so that you're attracting the feminine woman that you really want. You're going to sit, close your eyes, visualize the date going well, you with your energy on that you want your other date to see. You're taking deep breaths. You're picturing this date going really well. You're going to connect. You're going to want a second date. You feel really excited and you feel like yourself now that you put that energy on. There's no more work. There's no other responsibilities. There's no any other things on your mind. You are just feeling like the core of you so that the other person can see it. And that feels magical. Then you really do feel like you're on a date. Remember your limits. Don't drink too much. At the very most, 2 drinks. 1 is even better. Okay, 1 drink. If you're staying a long time, then have a second drink. But really, you want to be of sound mind and you don't want your words to get away from you, your emotions to get away from you. You really want to self-monitor because too much alcohol, especially if you don't drink much, can ruin a date. Don't put yourself in jeopardy. And you don't want your date to question either about your boundaries for yourself because you should be putting your best foot forward on this date. And if you don't, they're going to think that you acting like that's your best foot forward. So what in the world will our 5th date be like? the other person's going to question you. So don't put any of those questions in play. Just limit yourself so that you can be of sound mind and really monitor your behavior. Number 13 is remember the mission, remember the goal. This date is just to decide if you want a second date. This alleviates pressure, stress, nerves, and because it's alleviating the pressure, you can be yourself and just enjoy yourself. Just have a good time, be playful, flirty, feminine, masculine, really enjoy yourself before you have to make that decision. And don't think about the decision until the end of the date. And if you're not sure what you want to do, just tell your date you're not sure. I need to go home and process this a little bit. I had such a good time. I just don't know yet if I'm ready to decide about a second date. But I had a great time. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed meeting you. Another way to calm your nerves is remember, no one's died. This is not open heart surgery. There's a lot of bigger fish to fry in the world, and you know that, right? So just put the date into perspective. This is just two people having a chat for an hour or two. That's all it is. Remembering really the perspective of the date, what it means, will help you so much. And remind yourself of it as the date progresses. Keep taking those deep breaths. The last one, did you maybe do something embarrassing on the date? Say something you regret or elaborate too much on a topic or the conversation went sideways? Don't worry about it. Everyone does that. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone does embarrassing things. And honestly, you spilled your red wine all down your outfit. You're going to laugh and you're going to think about that 5 years from now if you guys stay together. It makes memories. It connects you. You revealing too much about something, well, you would have said it eventually anyway. And if you turned the date around and went back to more flirtatious, playful topics, then you recovered on the date. Okay, so if you get to the end of the date, it didn't go well, you don't want a second date, just be honest. Say, you know what, I had the best time with you. I just feel like we're better off as friends and we have a friendship type of connection. You don't have to be friends. That's not what I'm saying. But just say we have a friendship type of connection and I really enjoyed my time with you. You taught me so much about, cooking pasta, hiking, mountain biking, whatever. And it was great. I'm really glad we met. And then it's over. Go home and process yourself. Do I want to go out on a second date? Then text them, make sure they got home okay, and then ask the woman out for a second date if you would like that. If you really like this person and you want to tell them that, say, I had a really good time. I like you. Just say it. You don't have to be alluring and mysterious. Just keep it simple and just say that one thing. I had a really good time. I like you. That's it. That's all you have to say. If the date doesn't go well or one of you doesn't want a second date, don't put yourself down. The great thing about learning that you're not a good match is that you are now free to go out with other people, continue chatting with other people, meet other people in person. That person wasn't your match. And that's not personal. There could be other circumstances, or they got a phone call the next day that their mom was in the hospital, or their children had an emergency, or they're called out of town for business. There's a million things that could happen, guys. It's not about you. They don't know you well enough to know if you too aren't a good match because of something personal against you. The truth is they're looking through their own viewfinder, right, about what they want and need. They've decided you aren't what they want and need. Okay, that's fine. You are what somebody wants and needs, you just haven't met them yet. Or it's somebody in your life already and you're getting closer and closer. So don't sweat it. Rejection is hard, but the more you realize that every rejection is about them and not you, the better off you'll feel. And it literally won't be a big deal and you'll start to feel philosophical about it. You're going to continue to work on yourself, right? Because that's what life is. Life is a journey of us all trying to be better humans. Okay, great. So move on to the next person. I'm really excited for you. That rejection means you're getting closer. Yeah. And if you want to figure out what's going wrong, ask your dates. Give them some time after you've seen them and say, I'm really curious. Would you like to give me some feedback on our date? if you see a pattern with people after you've reached out to them, people will answer you because people are kind and they're amazed at your courage and even asking that question. So they'll tell you. And hopefully they'll give you a kind, honest answer and then take their feedback if you want. Don't ask the people that aren't going to give you kind, honest feedback, right? You have a good gut instinct about that. But people that you really thought you could have liked, that you thought you were a good match, text those people and just ask them and see, what they say. Then now you've got something to work on, which again, gets you closer to your person. So chill out before your date so that you can have a good time, you can be present and really, truly enjoy yourself and decide, do I want a second date? This is Tamara at True Connection. Check out my website at true-connection.net. I've got blogs on there. I've got my YouTube channel. I'm on Instagram. So looking forward to connecting with you. If you need me, you know where to find me. Take good care, guys. Have fun on those dates.